Have you ever stood on the ground and wondered, what's directly beneath my feet? Not just a few feet down, but miles and miles into the earth. What if I told you that humanity once tried to answer that very question by drilling the deepest hole the world has ever known? A hole so profound that it sparked tales of strange sounds and mysteries from the planet's core. This isn't science fiction. This is the incredible true story of the Kola Superdeep Borehole. Our journey begins in 1970 on the remote and icy Kola Peninsula in Russia, right near the border with Norway. Amidst the Cold War, the space race was capturing headlines, but another, less visible race was unfolding, the race to the center of the Earth. Soviet scientists, driven by a thirst for knowledge and national prestige, embarked on a mission that seemed almost impossible: to drill straight down through the Earth's crust, deeper than anyone had ever gone before. Their goal wasn't to find oil or minerals, it was pure science. They wanted to peel back the layers of our planet like an onion and study its composition, its history, and the forces that shape our world. They wanted to understand what the very foundation of our continents was made of. To do this, they brought in colossal machinery, state-of-the-art drilling rigs, and a team of brilliant engineers and geologists. The project was officially launched on May 24, 1970, to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lenin's birth. Little did they know, this ambitious project would last for over 2 decades and become a legend in the world of science and mystery. The drilling process itself was a monumental feat of engineering. Think about it, you're not just digging a hole. You're fighting against immense geological pressure and friction, thousands of feet below the surface. They couldn't just use one single, long drill. Instead, the drill bit at the end of the pipe would rotate, grinding away the rock, while the main pipe itself remained stationary. It was a slow, painstaking process. For every meter they drilled, they learned more about the challenges of deep earth exploration. They kept pushing year after year through solid granite, deeper and deeper into the unknown. So, just how deep did they get? After 2 decades of relentless effort, the drill reached its final, staggering depth in 1989, 12,262 meters, that's over 12 kilometers or 7.6 miles, straight down. To put that into perspective, if you were to take Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, and flip it upside down into the hole, you'd still have over 3 kilometers of space left above it. It's also deeper than the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench. To this day, no other man-made hole has surpassed this record. It remains the deepest artificial point on our planet. But reaching this depth was anything but easy. As they drilled further, the conditions became extreme. The pressure was immense, but the real challenge was the heat. Scientists had predicted the temperature at that depth would be around 100 degrees Celsius, which is about 212 degrees Fahrenheit. They were wrong. The actual temperature they encountered was a scorching 180 degrees Celsius or 356 degrees Fahrenheit. This unexpected heat was a game changer. The drill bits would soften and fail, the electronic sensors would malfunction, and the very rock they were drilling through began to behave less like a solid and more like a plastic. The project had hit a thermal wall. After a few more years of attempts and technical failures, the project was officially halted in 1992. The Soviet Union had collapsed, funding dried up, and the extreme conditions simply became too much to overcome. But what did they find down there in the literal depths of the earth? The discoveries were nothing short of revolutionary. First, they found water. This was a huge surprise. Scientists had previously believed that water couldn't exist at such depths due to the immense pressure. But the Kola team discovered that water was trapped inside the rock crystals themselves, squeezed out by the crushing force. It was as if the ancient rocks were sweating. They also unearthed a treasure trove of geological history. The rocks at the bottom of the borehole were over 2.7 billion years old, offering a direct glimpse into the Earth's early history, a period known as the Archean. Within these ancient rocks, they found something even more astonishing: microscopic fossils. They discovered 24 species of tiny, single-celled marine organisms, perfectly preserved in the layers of sediment. These plankton fossils were billions of years old, challenging previous theories about when life began to develop on Earth and how it survived in such extreme environments. They had literally drilled into a prehistoric cemetery miles beneath the surface. And of course, there was the heat. The discovery that the Earth's temperature gradient was much steeper than anticipated rewrote textbooks on geophysics. It provided invaluable data on how heat flows from the planet's core and fundamentally changed our understanding of the thermal dynamics of the Earth's crust. While the heat was what ultimately stopped the project, the data it provided was one of its most important scientific contributions. Now, this is where the story takes a turn from science to legend. When a project this mysterious is suddenly abandoned, rumors are bound to fly, and the rumors about the Kola Superdeep Borehole are some of the most famous and chilling in modern folklore. The most persistent one is the Sounds from Hell story. Legend has it that as the scientists drilled to their final depths, they lowered a specially designed heat-resistant microphone into the hole to listen to the Earth's tectonic movements. Instead of the low rumbles they expected, they were supposedly met with a terrifying audio recording. The recording, which circulated on the internet for years, was said to capture the sounds of human screams, millions of tormented souls crying out in agony from the depths. This led to the sensational headline that the Soviets had drilled a hole to hell. It was a story that was too good and too scary not to spread like wildfire. Tabloids and religious newsletters picked it up, and the myth was born. So, did they really hear the screams of the damned? The answer, of course, is no, the entire story was a fabrication. The original Sounds from Hell audio was later proven to be a remixed and looped sound effect from the 1972 horror movie Baron Blood, combined with other various sound effects. Furthermore, the conditions in the borehole, the extreme heat and pressure, would have made it impossible for any microphone at the time to function, let alone record clear audio, but the legend was powerful. It captured the public's imagination, tapping into our primal fears of the unknown that lies beneath us. The myth, though false, cemented the Kola Superdeep Borehole's place in popular culture as one of the most mysterious places on Earth. Today, the site of the world's deepest hole is a ghost of its former self. After the project was terminated, the entire research facility was abandoned. The massive buildings that once housed hundreds of scientists and engineers now stand in ruins, rusting away in the harsh Arctic climate. The complex machinery and the iconic drilling rig have been dismantled and sold for scrap. All that remains to mark this incredible achievement is a small, unassuming, and heavily welded metal cap, about the size of a dinner plate, bolted to the concrete floor of a dilapidated building. This humble cap covers the entrance to the 12-kilometer deep void. It is the sealed gateway to the underworld of scientific exploration. The site is now a destination for urban explorers and adventurers who travel to this remote corner of Russia to witness the eerie remains of a bygone era of scientific ambition. It's a silent, decaying monument to human curiosity. So what is the legacy of the Kola Superdeep Borehole? On one hand, it was a scientific marvel, pushing the boundaries of engineering and giving us a new window into our planet's deep history. The data collected from the borehole is still being studied by geologists today, but on the other hand, it serves as a profound lesson in humility. The Earth's diameter is about 12,742 kilometers. Our deepest penetration, the 12.2 kilometers of the Kola borehole, represents less than 0.1% of the distance to the center. We've sent probes to the furthest reaches of our solar system, but when it comes to our own planet, we have barely scratched the surface. The next time you walk outside and feel the solid ground beneath your feet, take a moment to think about the vast hidden world that lies below. A world of immense pressure, unimaginable heat, and ancient secrets still waiting to be discovered. The Kola Superdeep Borehole was our boldest attempt to peek into that world, and it reminded us that the greatest mysteries are sometimes not in the stars, but right here under our own feet. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the Earth as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. See you in the next video.